Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill. This is going to be a good one. I can promise you that. I have a video for you. So this is going to be a good one because we are going to review your survey answers for maps, and I checked it out, and it was quite interesting survey overall. Just to let you know, instantly we have a short survey going on for the base defense, base attack options. I think there is 5 maps if I'm not mistaken. Honey! 6 maps in total, so keep this in mind. It's going to be way shorter, so if you could complete that for us, we would be very grateful, and we will have following up survey which will have like 20 maps, so it will take a bit longer. But this one, 5 minutes and you are done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So now without further ado, I present you Skills Community Survey Map Standard Mode. Overall, there was 5,700 baboons who took the part of this. This is very important information, and the main reason being is the survey was extremely long overall, right? And it took quite some time to complete it, probably from 20 to 30 minutes. Average age 30 years old, 2% females, 98% males. Meanwhile, I am thinking where I could be here. What is the best option to present everything? You know what? I will be in this corner. Don't mind me if I do. Okay, most played server, EU server, pretty much 78% of the people, and games played overall. Looks like we had the most people who completed the survey had from 12 to 30,000 games. Very nice. Moving on next. Just checking out, is everything working properly? Beautiful. Okay, excluded maps, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I'm going to this corner. Excluded maps. Himmelsdorf as a light tank map. Ensk as a light tank map, and Paris as a light tank map. None of those maps are surprising me at all, considering people are excluding them. Least frequently excluded maps: Redshire 2 votes, Westfield 3 votes, and Steps 5 votes. Okay, that makes sense. Moving on, medium tanks. The most frequently excluded map, airfield. In your face, airfield. Ensk and Paris. Looks like people do not enjoy this PP map, to be completely honest with you. And least frequently excluded map, Steps, Live Oaks, Redshire. That makes sense. Moving on next. Heavy tank. The most excluded map, airfield, prokhorovka, malinovka. I can understand that. That makes sense to me, especially if you have the maps against the, I suppose to say the battles against the artists. This is not really fun, is it? 3 least frequently excluded maps, ruinberg, Lakeville, Steps. That makes sense as well. Tank Destroyer, Saka, lovely triangles. Ensk, Himmelsdorf, Empire's Border. All of this makes sense. And least frequently excluded map, Steps, Redshire, Live Oaks. Looks like everyone loves Steps, to be completely honest with you. And now speaking about the Jeffs, Himmelsdorf 9, Ensk 9, Paris 9. Looks like Himmelsdorf, Ensk, and Paris was the maps which people really do not like unless you are playing with a heavy tank. And least frequently excluded maps, Serene Coast, Redshire, and Live Oaks. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go. The most often excluded map, 3,484 votes out of what? 6,000. This is quite huge number. Most of the people do not like Himmelsdorf. What can I say, fellas? And the least often excluded map is Steps with a 35 votes. By the way, we are just starting our journey. Believe me, this is only the start. This video is going to be quite long one, so get yourself vodka, tea, or whatever else and enjoy yourself. So, what do we have here? We are starting the real stuff here. This is going to be the bread and butter of this video, at least in my humble opinion. So, all in all, we have abbey, and this is the abbey enjoyment with a light tank. Both sides are equally not really enjoyed, if we can say so, right? If the 3 is average or I don't mind, the 2 is I don't like it, and the 4 is I like it, right? So keep this in mind. Looks like neither side has too big of advantage, although for me personally I prefer the south side. I think it is just better to play with a light tank, for my personal preference. Moving on next. There is quite a big difference, even though it is looking 0.05, when you have 5 to 6,000 votes, it is already quite a big number overall, and I just want to put this out of the way. So looks like people are enjoying the south spawn more, and I can understand why. I personally think pushing the 8 line is so much easier from this side, so that's why people kind of like it. And speaking about this is medium tanks, right? So as you can see, the south spawn is the winner of your enjoyment. Moving on next, for a heavy tanks, looks like heavy tanks have more enjoyment in the north side, which is quite weird thing unless they are going somewhere over there, right? Tank destroyers, ooh, look at this. This is actually quite a bigger difference. We almost have 0.1, right? And in the same time, the more enjoyable is south spawn. The main reason being is probably people are going here, and people are going here. And in the same time, people are sniping from here as well. This is what I think, you know. Moving on next. Arta likes the south as well more. Okay, that's fair. Now, after every single map, we are going to have a summary. The worst map for light tanks, at least in the rating wise, so that can be, what do I mean by saying this? Light tanks can still like this map, but in the same time, it is just worse statistically for lights and best for heavy tanks. South spawn more often enjoyable than north spawn. 3 out of 5 times. Map rated as average enjoyment mean for all classes and spawns. If 3000 average, it is a bit over average. So this is not actually bad for abbey. I personally do not really like this map. And with all honesty, I think the map scored a bit too high, at least for my taste, if I can say so. Anyways, next. Look at those numbers, fellas. Airfield, both of the light tank spawns, they hate it. Because there is literally nothing to do with a light tank. I mean, there is nothing to do. Medium tank, look at this. If 3 is average, as you can see, none of the spawns are even enjoyable. Speaking about this map, everything is below average. Heavy tank, below average, as you can see yourself. The tank destroyers, below average. Arta, hey, there is nowhere to hide. If you will move, you will take one for the team, and Jeffs are enjoying themselves. But all in all, Airfield is a shit map, as you can see that yourself. All in all, speaking about the summary, the worst class for light tanks, the best for Arta, was spawn more often rated as more enjoyable, and map rated below average. Yep. And if Arta rating wouldn't be included here, it would be even worse thing, to be completely honest with you. Berlin, enjoyable. For a light tank, this map was recently changed, and in my opinion it is a horrible map for a light tank. As you can see, it is not really great. Meanwhile, medium tanks are equally enjoying each side, heavy tanks equally enjoying each side, tank destroyers equally do not really like each side because there is not too many things to do. But look at this balance of the Berlin, right? Look at this, fellas. Light tanks, pretty much identical. Medium tanks, identical. Heavy tanks, identical. Tank destroyers, identical. And, well, for Arta likes to click more from the west spawn, but oh well. All in all, we have extra sheet here. And we checked out some things. For example, enjoyment based on experience in the game. As you can see, from 1 to 30,000 games, people are enjoying this map overall more than people who have 30,000 games plus, right? So this is also interesting thing. And we came up to the theory. Newer players like new stuff more than old school wolves, you know, who are already feeling comfortable and they don't really like some changes. At least that's what we noticed, okay? So let's move up. All in all, the map is worse for light tanks, best for heavy tanks. West spawn was found to be more enjoyable than east spawn for only artillery. Map is rated as below average enjoyment mean for all classes, 2.86. Less experienced players enjoy playing on this map more. Moving on next, cliff, light tanks. There is quite a big difference if you would pay attention here, and even though once again, if you are looking into the number 0.2 or 0.3, it's kind of, sorry, 0.8 or 0.9, it is not that big a difference, but it is when you have such a big amount of the people voting, right? So all in all, light tanks are enjoying this more, probably because there is a couple of ways how you can do the things. You can take this if you really want to, you can take this if you really want to, you can go somewhere over there, you can go here or go like this and take this pocket, whatever. So looks like light tanks just simply enjoy the south more. Medium tanks are enjoying the south more. Once again, this is quite a big difference if you would ask me. Same situation. Heavy tanks are enjoying the south more, and tank destroyers are enjoying the south more as well. Also, I have a very good idea about the map review, what I can do, and people who are into that and people who want to see this, you will be able to see that. I have a pretty good idea, fellas, for this. Anyways, tank destroyer significantly more enjoyable from the south, although if you would pay attention over there, speaking about the cliff, people do not mind the north spawn, they just enjoy south more. Art, as usual, doesn't give a flying F because here they are sitting in the back and they are clicking everyone, so it doesn't really matter. Enjoyment based on experience in the game looks like newer players are enjoying Cliff more compared to the more experienced player, although boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the difference visually is not that big, right? Meanwhile, Cliff, the worst map for light tanks, or light tanks voted for this map the worst, and best for art. South spawn was found significantly more enjoyable than north spawn for all 5 classes. Map rated as above average enjoyment mean for all classes and spawns, 3.21. Less experienced players are enjoying to play this map more. Okay, that makes sense. Moving on. halluf, light tanks love it, or let's say they do not mind it, right? Medium tanks love it, although north side is more preferred, and I do not really. Oh my bananas! Whoever is subscribed, you. Okay, I almost shit my pants. I thought I am actually streaming instead of recording. Anyways, whoever you are, thank you. Let's continue to the presentation. halluf, medium tank. As you can see, north side is a bit more enjoyable, but all in all, this is quite a high score, right? Moving on next, heavy tanks, 3.65 and 3.62. Both of the sides are overall quite enjoyable. For a heavy tanks, tank destroyers do not mind it at all as well, which is quite good thing, right? And Arta likes to click. It doesn't really matter what map we are talking about and what we are doing. So all in all, halluf is much more enjoyed for from the more experienced players. That's quite interesting one, right? But to be fair with you, there is a lot of things what you can do on El Halluf, and it's not really, you know, the corridor in the same time. At least that's what I think. So all and all, worse for light tanks, but it's not bad. Best for heavy tanks. North spawn was found to be more enjoyable than south spawn only for medium tanks. Map rated as above average, which is good, and more experienced players enjoying playing this map more. Okay, let's move up, and now this is the treat. Empire's Border. Light tanks do not like this map whatsoever, but they prefer north spawn. Look at this difference, fellas. This is a huge one. Medium tanks. You know why medium tanks likes the south so much more? Because it's so much clearer to do what to do. You can go and take this position. You can go and take this position. Those are the two most important positions where you want to play. From here you will boom, 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 and boom, 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 and boom, boom, boom. And from this side, if you will try to go up like this, you will take one for the team. If you will try to push like this, and the south spawn is smart and not going like this, you are doomed. So yeah, I agree, south spawn is so much better over there. Moving up next, heavy tank, the same situation. People prefer the south spawn overall. Tank destroyers hates this map for some reason. Well, for some reason, because this is corridor and you cannot snipe for shit. Probably that's why. And Arta hates it. Look at Arta enjoyable level. I hate it, and pretty much it's between I hate it and I don't like it. So here you go. Unlucky. Meanwhile, enjoyment based on experience in the game. As you can see, newer players like this map a bit more, probably because of this is of the corridors. It is relatively simple to play, right? And all in all, this map is the worst for Arta, the best map for a heavy tank and medium tank. South spawn was found more enjoyable than north spawn. Map rated below average enjoyment mean for all classes and spawns for 2.60. 7 less experienced players enjoying playing this map more. Moving on next, Ensk, our beautiful Ensk. Light tanks hate it. Medium tanks. Actually, it's between I don't like it and I don't mind it, but it's closer to don't mind it. So let's say people do not mind this map too much. Heavy tanks. Oh, heavy tanks are having a great time and they're enjoying themselves. One thing to say why heavy tanks might like this more, probably because of this window. Or maybe more opportunities to play hold down somewhere here, I guess. Meanwhile, tank destroyer, obviously, I mean, we cannot act surprised for tank destroyers do not liking this map too much. It is between I don't like it and I don't mind it, and Arta hates Ensk. I hate it. So yeah, not a big surprise. All in all, speaking about the summary classes, worst class for Arta, best map for the heavy tank. North spawn was found more enjoyable than south spawn, and map rated as below average enjoyment. Enjoyment means for all classes. Quite a good one, right? To be fair with you, I was expecting this. Moving on next, Erlenberg. Speaking about the light tanks, by the looks of it, like the north spawn more. I can understand that because there is a place somewhere here to play. You can take this, you can take this. There is pretty much plenty of options which you can take. Medium tanks like the north as well, from the Erlenberg, and once again probably it is because of the castle, I would say. Meanwhile, heavy tanks prefers the south spawn. The main reason why, because it is hold down to play over there, and from the north spawn you kind of cannot do that, if you know what I mean. So that makes sense as well. And for a tank destroyers, they significantly prefer the north spawn, probably because there is plenty of bushes to use on this side and in this side, and usually whenever people are making pressure for you, you are having a farming fiesta, right? And it's more often happening when people are making pressure like this than like this, if you know what I mean. Meanwhile, Arta in Erlenberg doesn't really care too much, and all in all, the worst map for light tanks, the best for heavy tank and medium tank. North spawn was more enjoyable than south spawn, and map rated as above average enjoyment mean for all classes and spawns 3.22. Not bad. Let's move up. Fisherman's Bay. This is very, very surprising to me, and you will see why in a moment. Anyway, speaking about this map, quickly, I think it is kind of unplayable for a heavy tanks, and I will explain you why in a moment. So all and all, for a light tank, light tanks love this map from both sides overall, but more from the north. So what that basically means, this 0.1% enjoyment difference is because probably purely of this bush. This would be my initial prediction, and I believe most of the light tanks are going to play there as well, right? So that makes sense. Medium tanks, though, they like the south spawn more, probably because of this line of the bushes to snipe somewhere over there, or middle overall, right? Heavy tanks do not really enjoy this map compared to the other classes so far, right? And there is a reason for that. Although people prefer this side for some reason. I personally don't really feel too much of a difference. So hear me out. With a heavy tank, you cannot push. If you flank like this, you will die from either side. It's not worth it. If you will push like this, you are going in front of the gun and you are saying, please shoot me. It's just simply not a good map for a heavy tank, with all honesty. Meanwhile, tank destroyers like this map from the both spawns, but they prefer south more, probably because of the sniper schnitzel position over there, I would guess. And Arta kind of likes this map as well. All in all, this map is more enjoyed by more experienced players. So it is the worst for heavy tank and the best for the light tank overall. South spawn was more enjoyable than north spawn. Map is rated above average, 3.31, although once again, keep this in mind, the heavy tanks hates this map overall, right? And more experienced players are enjoying this more, which I can't blame and I can understand why. Next, fjords. Pay attention at this difference, and this is huge. Keep this in mind. This is 6,000 votes and 6,000 people voted for this. By the way, this survey took approximately 30 minutes for every single of you, and I appreciate you, and I hope we are worth it, and I hope you are having a great time digging into statistics like me as a nerd do, right? I actually like to see how people are looking into the maps overall, right? Cheers. So, fjords. From the north spawn, or I supposed to say west spawn, right? There is nothing what you can do with the light tank. You can go here or you can go here. That's it. Game over. That's what you can do. Meanwhile, with the light tank from the south, you can try to play here. You can try to play here. You can actually go like this. You can try to take the hill. Pretty much what I'm saying, it makes sense why east is so much more enjoyable. Look at this. Look at this, fellas. So, medium tanks. East spawn. Look at the difference. Look at the difference, fellas. And that's what I call significant difference, right? People are enjoying the spawn more, and that's it. There is nothing to say. Meanwhile, for heavy tanks, it doesn't really matter because they are going to play in this corner anyway, so most of them do not give a flying F, if that makes sense. Tank destroyers. To be fair with you, with a tank destroyer, you can play in this spawn and in this spawn, but obviously east is more enjoyable. Not by the huge margin for me, but it is. Artillery. Arta likes more the south spawn as well, or I supposed to say the east spawn, right? So all in all, enjoyment basis on experience in the game. it is more enjoyable for a newer players overall. Speaking about the classes, worse for art, best for heavy tank. E-spawn was found more significant, significantly more enjoyable than West spawn, which I was saying for years, honestly, and map rated below average with a close to 3 score, although, you know, it is kind of, yeah, probably people do not mind this map too much, and less experienced players enjoying playing this map more. Not a big surprise, right? Moving on next, Ghost Town. Look at the rating. Light tanks love this map, right? Look at this beauty. So all in all, south is just tiny touch more, but not by much. Speaking about the medium tanks likes this map quite a bit as well, and they like south spawn more for some reason, and to be fair with you, it's hard to tell why. Maybe because of this, maybe because of this, maybe because of this, maybe they like city more, although this is mirrored map, so to be completely honest with you, who knows why. Heavy tanks are enjoying this map quite a bit as well, right? As you can see that yourself. Tank destroyers are having a great time sniping, although as you can see, south spawn tank destroyers are enjoying this more, probably because of this typical bush. But you know what, fellas, from the north you have the same thing, and you can sit not in the bush but in the open field, and you can shoot heavy tanks crossing like this, so it doesn't really make a significant difference for me. But as you can see, there is one. Meanwhile, Arta do not mind this map because they are clicking anyways, and that's what we have. The worst for Arta, but not bad in any shape or any form. None of the Arta players was crying about this. The best for a light tank. The south spawn was found more enjoyable than the north spawn, and map rated above average with a 3.48 score, and that's pretty damn good if you would ask me. Moving on next, Glacier for a light tank. Light tanks from this spawn enjoy the map more, because if you are taking hill, in my humble opinion, it is game over for this team, right? At least that's what I think. Same goes for medium tanks. If you are able to take the hill or overall play in the middle, it is just simply more enjoyable. Heavy tanks do not really like this map, and this is a huge difference because you are getting pretty much effed whenever you are crossing like this. So what you need to do, you need to go into the middle first, and you need to cross like this on the edges, which is just simply annoying and unnecessary. But as you can see, people prefer the south spawn more, although it's not enjoyable by any shape or any form. And all in all, the end game and tank destroyers can do something, probably is just more enjoyable from this side. This would be my initial prediction, right? And Arta do not mind whatsoever, they need to click anyways, right? So worst for heavy tanks because of the crossing, I would say. The best for medium tanks because of agility probably, and south spawn was more enjoyable than north spawn. Okay, to be fair with you, I don't feel too big of a difference, but probably I would prefer this spawn as well. And map rated as above average enjoyment means, which is quite a weird thing. I was expecting this map to score less, to be completely honest with you. Meanwhile, highway for a light tanks prefer the south spawn for one particular thing. To go here and try to spot, I would say. Medium tanks, look at this. This is a humongous difference, to be completely honest with you, and I think I know why. From the north spawn, it's very hard to take this. You can only sit here or snipe here or snipe here. And from the south spawn, you can actually make pressure like this, and you can snipe from somewhere over there. Or from here, whatever, doesn't really matter. In other words, south have more options. So as you can see, there is a humongous difference for this map, although heavy tank is going straight into the city from the north, and heavy tanks are enjoying themselves more in the north, and all in all, tank destroyers are having more fun in the north as well, probably because of the bushes here and bushes here, so they can pretty much punish enemies whenever they are making one or another mistake. And Arta does not give a flying F because they are clicking playing anyways. So all in all, this map is a bit more enjoyed by the experienced players. This is important thing to say. The difference is not huge, but it is important to highlight this. So classes, the worst for a medium tank, which is, to be completely honest with you, quite surprising. In a way, right? The best for a heavy tanks and Arta. The north spawn was found to be significantly more enjoyable for heavy tanks and tank destroyers, while south spawn for light tanks and medium tanks. This is actually very weird comment, and it did not happen too often, to be completely honest with you. Map rated is above average, more experienced players enjoying playing this map more. Moving on next, Himmelsdorf. Light tanks do not like it, not a big surprise. Medium tanks actually do not mind it. As you can see, it's between I don't mind and I like it. Pretty much heavy tanks love the Himmelsdorf, not a big surprise. Tank destroyers do not really like it because there is no bushes, so it's called Eat Kaku. And Arta hates it as well, with probably the lowest score so far with 1.24. That's why you are seeing some Arta sticking their guns into the building and going for the well-deserved rest, if you know what I mean, in this map. And it happened quite sometimes for me. All in all, worst for Arta, best for heavy tank, not a big surprise. And map overall is rated below average, but it's because of the Arta rating as well. When I'm looking into this and I am thinking how we could improve this survey or this result, is we could discount Arta, you know, not pay attention what Arta is saying, speaking about enjoyable level, right? Maybe we can do that for a next one. Anyways, Karelia, light tank, epic map for a light tank. For a medium tank, it is also pretty good, although people like the south spawn more. Probably, I would guess, because of this position over there, or maybe because the crossing like this is a bit easier than this, I would say. Moving on next, heavy tanks, it's pretty much the same, as you can see that yourself. Probably heavies are going to play here and they are holding, or alternatively trying to push like this. Meanwhile, tank destroyers are enjoying themselves a tiny touch more in the south, and Arta doesn't give a flying F because they are clicking anyways, which is not a bad thing, it's just reality, right? So all in all, enjoyment based on experience in the game, not a big surprise. The more experienced players likes this map more because there is not that many corridors in this map, all and all. And worst for a light tanks, which is quite a weird thing, to be completely honest with you. Wait a second, I really want to check it out. I think there is a mistake, because light tanks got rated higher, so I think it is mistake in the spreadsheet, but it is okay. It is the best for a light tanks and the worst for heavy tanks. This is how it's supposed to be. Don't mind us if we do. Spawns seems to be balanced. Map rated is above average, with a 3.47, which is quite high, and more experienced players are enjoying this map more. Moving on next. Lakeville, enjoyment in the light tank, with the light tank. I can understand why south is more enjoyable, because there is more options than playing over there, right? Medium tanks are kind of enjoying this map, but they prefer the north side, probably because of the sniping from here, or alternatively this typical bush here, or alternatively because of this position over there, because it's hard to dig you out whenever you are playing here, right? Meanwhile, heavy tanks significantly like north more, because I would say because of this position over there. After that, we have tank destroyers who likes this map all and all, but they prefer south spawn, and to be completely honest with you, it's hard to tell why, honestly. Maybe because of the sniping from the middle, maybe because of the sniping from somewhere here in the back, maybe for the last defense of here, I do not know, but looks like tank destroyers are enjoying themselves. Meanwhile, Arta not so much. Arta is saying, I don't mind it, but I don't really like it either, right? So, all in all, the worst for Arta, the best for a heavy tank. North spawn was found to be more enjoyable than a south spawn, and map rotation is map rated as above average enjoyment level 3.27. And don't worry, and then you are going to see the most enjoyable maps, and you will see absolutely everything. I know this video is a bit longer, but if you are a stat nerd, if you care what your colleagues, what your friends are thinking about the maps, this is the way to check it out. Moving on next, live folks, enjoyable for light tanks for sure. It is between 3 and 4, so that's pretty damn good. Moving on next, medium tanks love this map, although there is a bit of the difference probably because of the access over there. Whenever you are taking this, you are feeling a bit better from the south than from the north over there, I would say. Although heavy tanks prefers the north side because they can make a hardcore pressure into the city probably, or simply say hold down over there and just enjoy themselves. But by any shape and by any form, this is not a bad rating. Also, one more thing to say, the north heavy tanks, they won't take the one for the team while they are crossing. Meanwhile, south tank heavy tanks will. If there is going to be a smart mother trucker going in the bush over there, pretty much with a heavy tank you are going to take one for the team, and I really wanted to mention this. Tank destroyers likes the north a bit more, but it's not that big of the difference looking into the paper, right? Why so? Probably because of the defending nest over there, I would say. Arta loves this map. This is quite a high number for Artas, right? And they prefer the south spawn, probably because whenever someone is making pressure like this, they can rain on them all day, all night. So quite good for every class. This is very, very strong thing, and I think this is the first map which got quite good for every class rating, right? The best for a medium tanks and Arta. Spawn seems to be equally unbalanced. That's very, very nice, right? And map rated as below good enjoyment wise, so it's actually above average, right? So 3.56, beautiful. Moving on next. Oh, look at this map, fellas. Look at this map, Malinovka. As you can see, the score is very, very high over there, and we cannot complain about this, although light tanks likes the south more. The main reason being is because of this bush particularly, at least I would guess so. Medium tanks likes Malinovka as well quite a bit. Heavy tanks are not a big fans of the Malinovka, but I can understand why. If you are getting the Malinovka with 3 artas, it's literally go eat kako. Tank destroyers obviously enjoying themselves, although they like to snipe more from the north spawn, and probably because of this red line over there. This would be my prediction, or maybe of this typical bush over there. You never know. Anyways, Arta obviously loves this map, and this is good explanation how the things are looking like. Newer players are enjoying this map, but not as much as experienced players, and this is quite an interesting stat. What we noticed so far, usually the newer maps are more enjoyed by the less experienced players or the newer players, and the open maps usually are more enjoyed by the experienced players. Quite interesting phenomenon. Good for every class. Best for light tanks and Arta. South spawn was more enjoyable than north spawn. Map rated as below good, but it's pretty much very close to good, right? And more experienced players are enjoying playing this map more. Not a big surprise. Meanwhile, we have Mannerheim line with a light tank. Light tanks are enjoying the north more. The main reason being probably because of the bushes here, bushes here, bushes here, bushes here. Pretty much from the north side, it is easier to find the bush. Medium tanks are enjoying themselves more from the north spawn as well, and this is a humongous difference, to be completely honest with you. Meanwhile, heavy tanks are enjoying themselves from north, probably because of the passage like this, I would guess. And tank destroyers are enjoying themselves from the north as well. Meanwhile, Arta is saying, no, I don't like north, I like to sit here, and whenever heavy tanks are arriving here, I click and they complain. Which makes sense, to be completely honest with you. And all, average for every class, north spawn was found to be significantly more enjoyable than south spawn, and that makes sense. I would rather play in north than in south. And map rated as above average with 3.19. Moving on next, mines. Look at this. Look at those numbers, fellas. Mines. Light tanks prefer to play on the north side, although none of the light tanks loves this map, okay? None does. It's just how it goes, right? After that we have, but look, still, look at the difference. 0.5 difference. This is huge. This is humongous, fellas. I really want to highlight this. Meanwhile, same goes for medium tanks. Look, 0.5 difference. Medium tanks actually kind of getting closer to I like it from the north spawn. This is actually nuts when you hate one side and you hate other side. This is quite surprising, right? Heavy tanks are preferring obviously the north spawn as well, although tank destroyers are saying, you know what, from the north I have only one sniping pigeon nest, so you know what, I like the south spawn more because I have more rocks to hide under. Just how it goes, and Arta is preferring the north as well, probably because they can rain on the middle. And overall, if I'm not mistaken, the mines is not actually a horrible map for Arta. All in all, quite bad for majority of the classes, the best for medium tanks. North spawn was found to be significantly more enjoyable than a south spawn, aka 4 out of 5 times, and the map rated below average with 2.82. In my opinion, it scored a bit too high, to be completely honest with you, because from one class it was probably average of 3 point something, and from the other one it was like 2. So we would see a bigger difference in this way, right? But it's okay. Meanwhile, Mountain Pass, look at this. Light tanks like the north more because of the typical bushes here, but all in all it is not the best map for obvious reasons. Medium tanks likes to get some free shots from here, so they like north more. Heavy tanks are enjoying themselves to the maximum, so they like the north more. And tank destroyers likes the north more as well, as you can see that yourself. Meanwhile, Arta prefers to click from the south, although to be completely honest with you, both sides for the Arta is not so bueno. All and all, our theory is newer players likes corridors more, which is, there is nothing shameful about that, right? 2.85 for a new players and 2.78 for the old school players out there. All and all, the worst for Arta, the best for heavy tank and the medium tank. North spawn was found to be significantly more enjoyable than a south spawn, and I agree with this. Personally, map is rated below average 2.83, and less experienced players are enjoying this map more. Meanwhile, murovanka, look at this beauty. Light tanks prefers the north spawn, and as you can see, both of the spawns are kind of enjoyed by the light tanks. And I know why light tank prefers the north, because in my humble opinion, it's so much easier to play over there. Meanwhile, medium tanks prefers the north as well. Heavy tanks are kind of equal, but looking into the raw data and raw numbers, they like the north spawn tiny touch more. But tank destroyers are enjoying themselves while sniping from the back, and I can imagine why. If you are taking this position over there in the back, you can obviously beat the living crap out of people who are pushing for you like this, or alternatively you are defending the base whenever you are getting flanked, and then you are doing a bit more damage, right? Moving on, Artas love this map and nevertheless what kind of spawn, right? So all in all, more experienced players likes this map more because it's open map, and I believe there is a bit more opportunities. Good for every class, best for Arta. Spawn seems to be equally unbalanced or balanced. Map rated as below good. And more experienced players are enjoying this map more. Not a big surprise, to be completely honest with you. Let's see what do we have next. Overlord. Speaking about the enjoyment, actually looks like people are kind of close. I don't mind with the light tanks, right? Why the south spawn is more enjoyable, to be completely honest with you, I do not really know. Maybe because they like this set of the bushes more than this set. This is only how I can imagine this. Meanwhile, medium tanks are enjoying the south more, probably because of the same reason. Heavy tanks do not care too much because they are going into the beach to have a great time and get some skin tan. There is nothing bad about this, right? And in the same time, tank destroyers are having more fun from the north spawn, which is quite surprising to me, although probably it's more comfortable to snipe from somewhere here than from somewhere here, I guess. Or maybe yeah, this is quite weird thing, or maybe they like this position more. Either way, there is a difference, and north seems to be more enjoyed by the tank destroyers. Arta doesn't care anyways because they are clicking, and all, average for every class, the best for Arta. South spawn was found to be significantly more enjoyable, and the map rated as average enjoyment for all means and for all spawns. Okay, good to know, thank you very much. I would add extra point for this map just because you can jump off the cliff in the end of the game. How many of you have done it? It's absolutely amazing feeling, fellas. Meanwhile, Paris. Oi, 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 oi. Okay, light tanks prefer west more because of this bush over there. You can actually go and be aggressive, or alternatively to go somewhere over there. At least that's what I assume. Yeah, but all in all, none of the light tanks love this map for sure, and in fact it's straightforward, they do not like it. Meanwhile, medium tanks are enjoying the east a bit more, probably the most important position, at least that's what I think. Whenever you are knocking the 2 trees over there, you are able to beat the living crap out of the gentlemen, whoever is playing here, without getting spotted. Maybe that's why, or using this position here, because in my humble opinion, speaking about the field, it is the same from each side. You need to be patient and you need to simply camp and do F all, if that makes sense. But once again, east more enjoyed by the medium tanks. By the heavy tanks, heavies prefers the west for some reason. Probably it's straightforward here and simply chill next to the bridge, I assume. Tank destroyers do not really like this map, but if they could choose, they would choose west spawn, and probably the main reason being because the light tank would give early spots and they could punish heavy tanks, I guess, and Arta hates this map quite a bit. All in all, all, this map is more enjoyed by the newer players in the game compared by experienced players, right? So, the worst for art, the best for heavy tanks. West spawn was more enjoyable than east spawn. Map rated as below average. Looks like people do not like this PP map, if you know what I mean, and less experienced players enjoyed playing this map more. Fine. Moving on next, Pearl River Light Tank. Okay, so looking into this, I think first of all, I think this map is shit for any light tank. It doesn't matter what is the spawn, but there is a twist. It's easier to get on top of the hill from this spawn, and I'm not joking, it's actually the case. There is a difference. So, not a big surprise why light tanks likes north the most, because you can actually take the hill, right? Meanwhile, speaking about the medium tanks, it's the same situation. You can take the middle easier, so probably that's why. Heavy tanks likes the north as well, because it's easier access here than access like this, at least in my opinion. And tank destroyers are enjoying themselves from the spawn, because from the south, because whenever your team is getting effed, then you can do some damage, right? All in all, Arta is equally do not minding this map, I would say. All in all, newer players are enjoying this map more. And speaking about the classes, this is the worst for light tanks, the best for heavy tanks. North spawn looks like to be more enjoyable than a south spawn, and map rated as average overall, speaking about the performance and enjoyment level, right? And less experienced players are enjoying playing this map more. Moving on next, Pilsen. Light tanks looks like they do not mind it, but they are closer for I don't like it. It's not a horrible map, because if you are a smart light tank, you can take this line of the bushes, and it's very, very hard to dig you out. You need to have the bloody hammer in order to spank you, if you know what I mean. Medium tanks, it is equal. Heavy tanks, equal. Tank destroyers, equal. Arta prefers this spawn a bit more. Wow, this is a humongous difference, to be fair with you. What do I mean by saying this? Looks like this mirrored map, right, is enjoyed by everyone equally. Look at this. Light tanks equal, medium tanks equal, heavy tanks equal, tank destroyers equal, Arta, you know, almost equal. So yeah, quite weird. Anyways, newer players are enjoying this this map a bit more than the old school players, right? Or more experienced players, if we can say so. Although the difference is on point 12, if you know what I mean. So it is not that humongous. Anyways. Classes. The worst class is Arta, the best class heavy tank, or I supposed to say this map is the worst for Arta and the best for a heavy tank. Spawn seems to be balanced all in all. Map is rated above average 3.14, OP number, nice. Also less experienced players are enjoying this map a bit more, nice. Meanwhile, I need to take a second break because my brain already started melting, so I will return in a second. You won't even see the difference, and I need to refresh my brain. And we are here. We are ready to check out Prokhorovka. So, Prokhorovka for light tanks. Not a big surprise, light tanks love Prokhorovka, although they prefer the north spawn more, probably, I would guess, because of this middle bush over there, or because of the bush lines here, or maybe because even of this here, because you can actually play relatively aggressively, right? Moving on next, what do we have? We have medium tank enjoyment level. Medium tanks likes the south more, probably because of the easier shots on top of the hill. At least I would guess. Heavy tanks are preferring the south spawn more as well because of the easier shots on top of the hill. Tank destroyers doesn't give a flying F because if someone will make mistake, they will punish them, and artists are saying the same thing. This is very well rated map. Once again, very high, very important thing to highlight. Open map, a lot of different ways to play the game. More experienced players are enjoying this more, right? This is important thing to say. And all, worst for a heavy tanks, the best for the light tanks and Arta. South spawn was found more enjoyable than the north spawn. And map rated as good enjoyment means for all classes. So yeah, this is 3.93. It is, by the way, my favorite map in the game, and I'm having a blast. And obviously, more experienced players are enjoying this map more as well. Meanwhile, province. What do we have? The light tanks are enjoying the north spawn a bit more, probably because of this typical bush over there, I would guess. But all and all, it is kind of equal of people do not minding this. If you do not know what is this map, this is for a lower tiers pretty much. The medium tanks, all and all, they are equally fine with both sides, and they do not mind it. The heavy tanks do not really like this map, and it's pretty much equal, and it's equal for a tank destroyers because there is plenty of positions to snipe from, and it's equal for Arta. All and all, more experienced players likes this tank more, probably because there is quite a bit of the opportunities. Aka, if someone will make mistake, you will punish them, right? All and all, worst for a heavy tanks, best for a tank destroyers. Spawns seems to be balanced. Map rated as average, and more experienced players likes this more. Meanwhile, redshire, and this is where the interesting things will start. Redshire, I said that many times. The south spawn, in my opinion, of this map is a bit better. Aka north is losing one, south is winning one. Look at this. Light tank enjoyment. By any means, the north spawn lights do not complain about this, but they would rather be spawned in the south spawn. And as you can see, 0.3 is a big difference, especially after looking this, right? So the main reason being is because from the south spawn you can take this and you can be annoying as F. You can go like this, and from the south spawn, if you will try to move like this, you are dead meat, right? Because of the sniper schnitzels over there. So you do not have that many options overall. Medium tanks, the same situation. You can retake this very easily, especially in the late game, right? So people do not really like north as much as they like south. Look at this. Tuna. Good tuna! Wait a second. Nuts. This is the biggest probably difference so far. The heavy tanks hates the north, and they love the south. Who could expect that? Silver gaming, maybe it's about the time to do the difference, you know, to fix the things a bit. I know there is a saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it, but with this, maybe it's about the time. Ooh, and tank destroyers obviously prefers the south a bit more because of this, but in the same time, they do not mind by playing in the north that much. Arta doesn't care too much because they need to click anyways. Holy bananas, fellas, holy bananas. This difference between the heavy tanks just simply spanked me in the ass, and it killed me quite a bit. Anyways, the map is more enjoyed by experienced players by 0.1%, or by 0.1 overall in the rating scale, right? The best for light tanks, the worst for heavy tanks. The south spawn was found significantly more enjoyable than north. Map rated as above average. More experienced players are enjoying this map more. Not a big surprise. Meanwhile, Ruinberg. Light tanks do not like this map equally. Medium tanks do not really mind this map that much, right? But looking at this, south spawn is more enjoyable for a mediums. Although north spawn is more enjoyable for a heavy tanks, probably because of this position over there purely, at least that's what I would guess. Although tank destroyers prefer the south spawn more, and that was quite surprising for me, but probably because of this position over there and because of some bushes into the city. For example, if you will climb the rock here, you can shoot people who are playing around this area and who are over peaking. Obviously Arta do not enjoy this map that much, but compared to the Himmelsdorf it is vacations for Arta. Best for heavy tanks, worst for Arta. South spawn was found to be more enjoyable than north spawn, and map rated as average with a score of 3. Meanwhile, Save Heaven, equal for light tanks, because it's kind of mirrored map in a way, right? It is kind of the same with the medium tanks. For a heavy tanks, it's more enjoyable to play from the east spawn. The main reason being is, this is a good one, I actually do not know why. I personally like the east spawn more myself, but I play usually in this position over there, that's why I like it more. Meanwhile, tank destroyers, it's literally the same situation, and Arta the same situation. So only heavies are feeling the difference. Other tanks, it's pretty much kind of the same, if you know what I mean. It is a new map, so newer players are enjoying this more for some reason, and this is quite significant if you would pay attention at the number. This is a big difference. All in all, best for heavy tanks, worst for Arta. Worst for Arta because half of the map is literally in the bunker. Spawn seems to be balanced, map rated as average, and less experienced players are enjoying this map a bit more. Meanwhile, we have a shit river. Meanwhile, light tanks loves this map, and I can understand why. Medium tanks likes this map, but they significantly prefer the east spawn more. Maybe because of this, maybe because of the flanking, maybe because of this, you never know, but the difference is there. Meanwhile, heavy tanks prefer the east spawn as well, probably because of the hold down play and good luck digging them out, or somewhere over there, I guess. Tank destroyers can snipe from the both bases, so they are feeling quite fine, and Arta loves this map, although if they can choose, they're choosing the east. The main reason being, if someone will push in this, they will reign forever and ever, right? Meanwhile, this map is more enjoyable for experienced players, and that makes sense. It's open map, a lot of opportunities, and easy to make a mistake as well. This map is best for Arta, the worst for heavy tanky. Spawn was found to be more enjoyable, map rated as above average, and more experienced players like this map more. Not a big surprise, right? Meanwhile, Serene Coast. For a light tanks are enjoying this more, probably because of the cheeky bushes somewhere here, or alternatively to take this position, right? So maybe you can get a bit of the cheeky assisting damage or something, right? Moving on next, and as you can see, light tanks do not mind this map too much. Medium tanks kind of getting closer for liking this map, and it's equal. Heavy tanks prefers the north spawn a bit, although to be completely honest with you, probably because of this special position here, I would guess personally, and tank destroyers likes the south spawn more, because whenever enemies are over pushing this, they boom 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 shoots from this, and whenever heavy tanks over pushing like this, they boom 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 shoot like this. This would be my guess. For Arta prefers the north spawn, although both of the Artas are having a blast because they can bomb everyone, whoever is playing hold down here. So not a big surprise. The map is best for Arta, the worst for light tanks. Spawn seems to be equally unbalanced. Map rated as above average of 3.24. Honestly, there is way worse maps than this, right? Okay. Siegfried line. Light tanks prefers the north spawn probably purely because of this bush. I would guess medium tanks likes the north as well, probably. I don't even know, but there is a tiny difference, or there is quite a big difference, right? Heavy tanks prefer the north more, and tank destroyers prefer the north more. Arthas doesn't care. I can understand why heavy tanks preferred north more. I like to play in the city more from the north side. There is hold down paradise here, paradise here. If you want to be very cheeky, you can try to play here, right? You can get involved like this, you can get involved like this. There is plenty of ways how you can play this map, and obviously from the south spawn it's way harder to get into the city, at least in my opinion, and even if you will, your teammates more likely will look how you are taking one for the team, right? So yeah, I can understand that. Anyways, looking into this, ignore Serene Coast map, because this is for Siegfried line. So the best for heavy tanks, the worst for light tanks and Arta. North spawn was found to be significantly more enjoyable than south spawn. I think there is I think this is the case, right? Good. So north spawn is definitely more enjoyable, right? Because it's kind of easier to play, and map rated as average in total. Moving on, next we have steps, and light tanks kind of prefers this. Speaking about the light tank enjoyment, I would say they like this map because there is extra position over there from the south spawn, and from the north spawn to take this, it's very risky, especially when there is a light tank in this typical bush. Maybe that's why. Either way, light tanks loves the steps. Medium tanks likes the steps, but they prefer from the south spawn. Moving on, next, heavy tanks likes the steps as well, although they prefer the south spawn as well, and tank destroyers love the steps and they prefer the south spawn as well, once again probably because of the sniping from the back when the time is coming. Meanwhile, Arta loves this map from any spawn, and all in all, once again, open map, a lot of opportunities, experienced players likes this map more. The best for Arta, the worst for heavy tank. The south spawn was found to be more enjoyable. Map rated is below good, but obviously it is above average, and more experienced players likes this map more. Nice. Studzianki. Light tanks do not see the big difference, and looks like light tanks like Studzianki. Medium tanks like Studzianki as well, and in the same time they prefer to play from the east spawn, although to be completely honest with you, I don't feel there is too much of the difference between the spawns, right? At least that's what I think. Heavy tanks likes the Studzianki equally because they are taking their hold down and they're having a blast, and tank destroyers prefers the east spawn more. And once again, to be completely honest with you, I think both of the spawns are pretty much equal over there, right? And Arta likes the east spawn as well. There should be a difference, but I do not know why do they prefer the east more than west, because for me personally it's the same, honestly. Above average for all classes, speaking about the score of the map, east spawn was found more enjoyable than west spawn, and map rated above average of 3.25. Moving on, next, tundra. Light tanks hate tundra, although they prefer to play from the north spawn, probably because of this bush here or because of the hill. Medium tanks prefer to play from the north. Heavy tanks is pretty much equal, although heavy tanks are playing here anyway, so they are playing in one line in a way. And tank destroyers, as you can see, they hate this map quite a bit, but if they have a choice, they would rather play in the north as well. Arta do not really like this map, but you know, what can you do? Enjoyment based on experience in the game. As you can see, newer players likes this map more, and more experienced players, since the map is quite small, there is not that many of the opportunities. So all in all, best for a heavy tank and for a medium tank, worst for light. North spawn was found more enjoyable than a south spawn, and map rated as below average. All in all, less experienced players are enjoying playing on this map more. Meanwhile, Westfield. Light tanks love Westfield, although they prefer the south spawn, and I don't feel too big of the difference, to be fair with you. Medium tanks likes the Westfield as well, quite a bit, to be fair with you. Meanwhile, heavy tanks likes the Westfield, although they prefer the south spawn, by the way, but medium tanks prefer the north spawn. This is quite interesting thing. Very, very interesting. Anyways, moving on. Next tank destroyers likes the north more, probably because whenever south is overpeaking, like this tank destroyers from here are simply banging them like there is no tomorrow. That's the reason. And Artas pretty much likes this map a lot. Not a big surprise. Meanwhile, best map for Arta, the worst for heavy tanks and tank destroyers. Although probably if you are playing with a Kranwagen, it's the best map for you, right? But you need to keep this in mind. There is Mouses, there is Type 5 Heavies, and other tanks who do not have the gun depression, right? And map rated below good, but it's still very, very good rating, right? Meanwhile, widepark, lower tier map, north spawn in my opinion has a huge advantage, at least that's what I think. Light tanks are enjoying the north more, medium tanks enjoy the north more, heavy tanks it's kind of the same, and tank destroyers like the south more, probably because of this or because of this. And Arta do not like this map whatsoever. The best for medium tanks, the worst for Arta. North spawn was more enjoyable and map rated as below average enjoyable level, probably because it's just so tiny. So we are done with the maps, fellas. Dealing. We have over 1 hour of the footage overall. Yeah, it is a long one, but I needed to do the presentation for you just to show how the things are looking like. I noticed some silly goose mistakes from my side, but you know, it is how it is. It is hard to do everything perfectly, but we will improve. Also remember, we have a new survey going on. It's going to be a short one, 5 minutes, and you are going to be Gucci. So looking into all of this, Prokhorovka now. Top maps for light tanks: Prokhorovka, Malinovka, Murovanka. Not a big surprise. This is the best maps for light tanks, right? Worst maps for light tanks: Himmelsdorf, Ensk, Paris. No surprises there. Top maps for medium tanks: Prokhorovka, Malinovka, Live Oaks. Not a big surprise whatsoever. And most hated maps or the worst maps: Paris, airfield, widepark. Not a big surprise, to be fair with you. Top maps for heavy tanks: Himmelsdorf, halluf, ruinberg. Halluf actually surprised me. This is quite a surprise. And worst map for heavy tanks: airfield, Prokhorovka, widepark. Kind of understandable. I can understand this. Top maps for tank destroyers: Prokhorovka, Malinovka, Steps, and the worst maps for the tank destroyers: Empire's Border, widepark, and Ensk. Not a big surprise, right? Meanwhile, best maps for Arta: Prok, Mali, Murovanka. Worst maps: Himmelsdorf, Paris, Ensk. Here you go. Not a big surprise, right? Now, 3 most enjoyable maps by average means: Prokhorovka, Malinovka, Westfield. Those are the 3 best maps for any class overall. Aka, well, I can't say those maps are the best for any class, but to summing everything up and dividing it from 5, this is the best score which you get. So Prokhorovka, my favorite, and I believe I'm not alone. Mali and Westfield. And 3 least enjoyable: widepark, airfield, and Paris. I did not realize that Paris is so much hated map until this. I know it's shit for light tanks, but all in all, it is still surprising to me, right? Most and the least balanced maps for all tanks. So, the best balance in the game is according to your votes, in Berlin and Karelia, because the difference between one or another spawn wasn't big, and the second place would go for Himmelsdorf, Pilsen, Prokhorovka, and Province. This is the second place in a way, right? And 3 least balanced maps: Redshire, Mines, and Mountain Pass. I agree with everything. Redshire south is the best, Mines north is the best, Mountain Pass the north is the best because of purely because of this shitty ass crossing. So yeah, quite an interesting situation and quite an interesting spreadsheet overall, right? Does amount of the games matter for overall enjoyment of playing all maps? Look at this. If you are newer player, your enjoyment level is you don't mind it and you are having quite some fun, let's say like that. After that, whenever you have 12,000 games and 30,000 games, looks like you are thinking, oh my bananas, my WN8 is ready, and you are spanking yourself in the butt and you are trying to improve, and after that you are improving and improving. Although this is quite surprising for me. I did not expect this. I thought the game is the most enjoyable for a newer player, and then it's dropping down the hill whenever you have 50,000 games plus. But as you can see, I was wrong. And that's it, fellas. Looks like that's it. This is our survey done. So it was a long one. I hope you had a great time and I hope you enjoyed yourself. We have a new survey going on, so please take your time and do this. This is going to be a short one, and after that we will have one more going for 20 maps or so, and I will present everything for you as usual. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a great time and I hope you enjoyed yourself, and see you very soon. Skill is out for today. Peace.